What's up YouTube, Biz Matthew here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to deal with angry sellers in your wholesale real estate business. Now, you all probably encountered angry sellers, maybe by cold calling, going to seller's appointment, maybe not even with sellers, maybe with title companies, other wholesalers, other investors. How do you deal with that? So in today's video, I'm going to tell about my experience, and hopefully that will help you all and motivate you all and just give you all guidance on how to deal with these sticky situations when you're with the seller, when you're with a cash buyer and there's some miscommunication or someone gets upset. How do you handle that situation? So I have 5 different tips, 5 different suggestions that you all can follow if you're interested, that I want to share with you all in today's video. Hey, before we go on, you all, be sure to like this video, subscribe, comment down below if you have any questions, follow me on Instagram at BizMatthew, and let's head right into the video. So the number one suggestion, the number one tip I would say to deal with angry sellers is to not waste your time, right? So let's say you are cold calling and someone is just cussing you out. Yeah, don't call them ever again, just move on from that particular seller, right? Or let's say you're texting someone. I remember when I was doing some text messaging campaigns and someone just cussed me out through text. Did I respond to that person? No, I didn't. I just moved on because I know that's not a motivated seller. They don't want to get annoyed or frustrated with me asking about their house. So that's number one. You know, if the people are like cold leads, they're usually not motivated if they start cursing to you. So move on immediately. The other aspect to moving on is, let's say you do have a warmer lead. You had a few phone calls, some follow-up calls with a particular seller, and all of a sudden they start getting angry. They start questioning what you're doing and different things like that. And you address all those things, but it just keeps on continuing. That's when you know you probably have to move on from that lead, right? The seller, even though you communicate it as well as you can, the seller just cannot stop being angry at you. So you have to move on, you all. It's better not to work with those type of sellers and just them dragging you along. Even if you're able to make some sort of money from them, it's just not worth the time and energy for you. Number 2 is never match their energy, right? Always stay calm. In cold calling, with dealing with sellers, we always talk match their energy. But when the person's angry, you don't necessarily want to match that. At the same time, you don't want to be overly happy or excited when this person is clearly upset about something. You have to stay calm. But in that situation, in that conversation, there has to be a calm person, and you're responsible to be that person, right? When someone gets elevated or upset or furious about something, it's good to just stay level-headed and be able to control that conversation, control that situation, because that usually brings their temperature down, right? So make sure to never match an angry person's energy. And I dealt with that so many times in my business, whether I was in person and the person kicks me out for some reason, even before going inside the house. I said, oh, okay, was there any particular reason? And they start getting angry. I just go ahead and let them be and move on to my next property. The third way to deal with angry sellers is to listen to them, because we are human beings. We are emotional beings. Have you ever got angry before? Yeah, I've got angry before. All of us have gotten upset at something, right? We should not like automatically just run away from a situation just because a seller is angry, right? This is of course after you talk to them a few times and everything has been cool, but this is your first time seeing them upset. Like, how do you deal with that situation? Listen to them. What are they truly trying to say? Is a person upset because, for example, I was dealing with a seller and everything was good, and then when I started showing the house to people, they got upset and frustrated at me. Why? Because I didn't communicate with the seller, hey, I'm going to have investors view this property. I'm going to have people walk through this property. Tell me which days and times I can do that, right? I never explicitly communicated that to the seller. I may have briefly mentioned, oh, I may have contractors around, but when I listened to their frustration, like, oh, why are you having all these people? Like, I could just concentrate on their emotions and how much angry they are at me, but I try to listen to specifically why they're upset and try to solve that problem and communicate, yo, my bad, I apologize. Yes, so I do show this property on time to time to my partners and my investors, and this is what I need to do. So I think doing that, listening to them, and I know it can be hard sometimes to listen to an angry or upset person, but try to concentrate on their words and what they're saying and solve the issue, communicate through the issue, and that usually brings their level of frustration down. And just following that third tip is number 4, is to apologize if needed. Now, I don't want you all to go around and just apologize like it was to every single seller that you have a problem with or situation with, but if you see that you were in the wrong because you either miscommunicated or you weren't clear about something, or you just messed up entirely, like you didn't find them a cash buyer or something like that and you left them hanging, yeah, you have to apologize. Say, like for that example where I brought buyers into the house without overly communicating to them that I was going to do that, I apologized because I felt like, yeah, there was probably points where I could have communicated more. So I saw my end where I messed up and I was like, hey, I apologize. This is what I need. This is what we are going to do moving forward. So apologize if needed, because it really does help bring their blood levels down a little bit. And so the last and final way to deal with angry sellers is to refer them to someone else. So after you listen to them, you try to solve their issue, you even probably apologize. If it's just not a match for you, you can try to find someone that best fits their needs. Maybe they need to talk to a mortgage broker to refinance their property. Maybe they need to talk to a realtor in order to list it because they were angry about the price I gave them. Or maybe they need to talk to contractors because they probably want to fix up their property before listing it. You know, refer them to another person that can help them, because ultimately that's what you're trying to do in the transaction, is to help the seller in their distressed situation to find a way out. Yes, you may be able to get a referral fee from like a realtor or something, I'm not sure, but you may not be able to get that lead closed, but that's something you have to deal with. That's just business. That's just part of the wholesaling business. So on that note, just make sure you're very versed in your community about the different tools, the different skill sets that people around you have, right? So you can bring that to angry seller and they know, hey, this person knows a lot of people, they're professional, they could send me to someone else to help solve my problem. For example, I put a property under contract. It was a mobile home, and this was in my beginning stages, and I wasn't 100% sure about the values of mobile homes, and I put them under contract at a price a little bit too high. And so they were a little bit angry when it was coming closer and closer to the date when I didn't have enough information for them. So what I did was I referred them to a realtor who knew that area, who dealt with mobile homes, and they were happy. They're like, thank you for sending us this agent. So even though I wasn't able to get an assignment fee or collect, you know, some sort of compensation for that situation, I was able to still help them and refer them to someone else that can help them more than I can. So in the end, you all, dealing with angry sellers, you just have to stay calm. You have to stay level-headed, listen to them, try to answer all their questions. If they are just a difficult seller, you have to know when to move on. If the angriness and them being upset comes super early into getting to know them, cut them off immediately. Like, don't waste your time. Move on to a more motivated seller, right? But refer them to someone else if you need to. All right, you all, I hope you all enjoyed this video on how to deal with angry sellers. If you all have any questions about what I do, or if you have a situation where you're dealing with a difficult seller, let me know down below. I try to answer all comments, so let me know. All right, you all, have a great day. Talk to you all later. Peace.